just talking in English. I find it easier. Sorry for Nepali. It's hard for me. But yeah. So basically, I'm in this presentation today because I've been reading a lot up on it, and I wasn't really a big believer in religion before. So I wasn't, my dad did a lot of, as you guys may know, he does a lot of pujas and all that stuff all the time. And I always ask him, like, why do you even do this, right? What are you getting out of this? Why do you do this? And I started questioning a bit more. I was thinking about, what's been passed down from generations on end. And I started reading up more on it. And I realized how important it is for all of us. It really shapes us who we are. Collectively, we all believe in the same thing, and it brings us together. So I found a bigger meaning in this stuff. So, a youth coming up to talk about religion in Canada, you may not, think about that before, but, here I am today, someone you didn't expect to come up to talk. And for me, I think of religion more of like a non-traditional aspect. So puja, idols, I do believe in that. I certainly believe that there's an important aspect in that, but also I believe in the theories behind this stuff. So essentially, I think of it like a why. Why does it matter to me? In a selfish perspective, you're thinking, well, why me even in the first place? It could be with your, you do puja for other people. Well, how come it helps you? Why does it help you? And I'm kind of going to touch upon that today as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about more of the philosophies behind the stuff and just a new perspective. I'm not saying, this is the right perspective. I'm just saying it's a new perspective. You can open your eyes up. You can make non-believers to believers, believers to non-believers. Don't know. But if you gain something out today and want to discuss afterwards, more than happy to. So what's in it for me? And so why? Because I chose some time to think, like I mentioned before. Chose some time to think just because, I had some time. I took Sanskrit. My dad may have told you guys already before that I just took it as a GPA boost for school. I just thought it'd be easy to get a good grade in it. But I actually learned a lot more from that. It really allowed me to really think behind, why things were. For those of you that don't know, Sanskrit was supposedly heard from the universe. So it wasn't, someone didn't make it up. So it was heard. And it's such a complex language that you can't make it up. It's long words. Each word has its own meaning, and within that meaning, there's something else beyond it. I just got really fascinated with that. So I took some time to reflect, and then after I did that, I started to realize stuff. So I realized what mattered to me. I'm in school currently, and for me it was like school. But I never got time to think in such a fast-paced lifestyle. Didn't really get to think of what really mattered to me. Am I doing this because my parents told me to, or does it matter to me? So I thought of it, and I realized. And evocation basically means your calling. What is your calling? Now everyone has a different calling. That's why we're different people, and that's why the world works the way it works. We all have our own calling. So what I really found, this due process, I found my calling. And I'm not saying I'm the next, Jesus Christ or whatever. I'm just trying to say that my calling, allowed me to study more so I can, learn more about myself. I'm going to talk a bit more about that next time. So, if you want to go through this process, more than happy to. Next time you're at the hot tub, sauna, whatever, and you're hiking, take some time to reflect on what's important. Take some time to realize, and never know, it might find your calling too. And so the reason why I bring up this whole calling realization is that when I bring up, pose a question to the audience. If you take some time to think of your background in your head, have you ever felt like you're in an experience where you felt as if someone was looking out for you? Now, this could be anything. This could be you're walking the road and about to hit a car. Someone coming at you, and you felt safe. Someone, oh, on what's that? You may feel like that. Or sometimes, personally, I was in a car accident 2 months ago in March, and I felt like I could have died. So I hit the car, straight collision, and I felt like someone was watching me. Someone was out there for you. Now, do I really believe, God came down, put his hand, and said, stop? I don't know. Could be, could not be, but, you feel like there's something, a greater power that's kind of helping in that place. Look at all of us here. We're in Canada, not in Nepal. Some of us are attending the protest tonight. And we could be there right now protesting for people. We could even be in Darjeeling right now and protesting, but we're not. We're here. We're lucky. So, even just taking the small things, being happy, because yes, there's fame, there's richness and all that stuff, but just taking some time out to realize that how lucky you are to be here. I realized that because, most like us, immigrant, first generation kids, our parents did sacrifice a lot for us. We're not gonna, they didn't get to go on a, patio hanging out with your friends, at 25. No, they were working, so just feeling lucky. And, there's so many, there's like, 7 billion people in the world? And for us, it's a small proportion of that to be here. It just feels like, yeah, maybe there is someone looking for you. Maybe not God or some outside force. So that's sort of what I believe in. So yeah, I kind of touched on this before a little bit, Hinduism and Buddhism. I put the two in the same sentence because I feel like they're really connected. And I'm really happy the way this organization's named Hindu-Buddhist Foundation, just because, a lot of the values are already tied up. And we're Nepali, and I sincerely believe that these values make us unique in the way we are. We're accepting people. In Nepal, you don't see, clashes or religion battles. We're accepting. If you want to celebrate Eid, go ahead, celebrate Eid. We're accepting in that case. And with Buddhism, our culture is so tied to Buddhism as well, not just Hinduism. A lot of people say Hindu, but no, it's definitely tied both, because a lot of our monuments in Nepal are with Buddhism as well. So I feel like, and also, is there really a God? I question this a lot myself, and are they even really deities? So why I say this, because I bring up this, is because originally what happened was, so we had the Vedas. This is for my Sanskrit class, but the professor keeps talking and talking, so I listened in for once, and he said, the sounds are really heard from God. So like all the knowledge was heard, and it wasn't until later on that they had idols and worships. So that's where the Sikhs were kind of tied to them in a way as well, because they didn't believe in idols. They believed in the Vedas, the sounds. They believe in gurus, but the root of both. I had two Punjabi guys in my class, Sikh, Fetawala, everything. So they were there, but we agreed on a lot of the same things. We agreed on a lot of the same ideologies, because the root of everything was Sanskrit. The root of all that was with the Vedas. Now, why I'm saying that is because, yes, we did diverge paths in a way, but also the deities came on later on. So Shiva, Ram, there are forms of story and epic telling. So I believe they're great stories, they're great role models for us to really learn from and take notes from. And that's how it's been passed down to us here, essentially. So I believe you can choose, and that's my perspective. Don't yell at me, I'm not next Jesus, I'm just saying this. So bring it down. But you will change your way you see yourself when you do it. So I say this because, you might be stuck at work, you might be stuck at school, and you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? The sun's outside. It could be a lot better. And the reason is that I look at things differently. I think of a way as your presence is a presence. So just being alive, being here, is being happy of the fact that you're doing something. So whether you're at work, think of all the times you work so hard to go to work, right? You spend all your life studying to go to work, but all of a sudden you hate work. Like, why is that? You shouldn't be lucky, feel happy that you're at work. And same in school. We start school, like, exam, next final next week. Oh, I got so much to study for. My parents make me study so much. Like, there's all those things, but just shifting your perspective a little bit, makes you think maybe it's for the better, and maybe it is a present. Like, I'm doing something. I'm on a path to something. I'm gonna touch a bit more of that next. So what do I say that? Because I said your calling and your path, and I really want to use the word you and not me and not us. I say you individually, one, each and every one. And from that, so for those of you that don't know, and I apologize for parents who already know this stuff, it's Hinduism has an idea called the Atman, which is your soul. And essentially, belief is that the soul was created by God. So Brahma gave the soul, fits everybody, you get over the soul, everyone gets a soul. And within that, it's your soul, so it's you. And you can't really find your own soul if it's not personally yourself. So like, if you don't know yourself, how do you know your soul? That's my calling. Like, are you really there? And why I also say this is because your soul is because, when you die, that's when your soul comes out. Supposedly your soul comes out of your body, and you have, this human it's gone, it goes back. But why is it that, when you're about to die, your soul goes away? Why can't you activate your soul, essentially, which is you, beforehand? Why do you have to wait until you die? Why not? Why can I, traveling with my soul? Why can't you do that at a younger age? And essentially is that you have to discover yourself in that process. Now, I'm not saying, discover yourself, don't do nothing, and just have fun and discover yourself. I'm trying to say that what I mean by discovering yourself is you have to activate the right work, and you have to activate your path and your calling. Now, I don't know if I've activated my path or whatever, but as long as you're approaching there, I feel like you're going something, and you're on the way to activate your soul. So, the goal is to make more time to learn about yourself. So I think activating this soul, this Atman inside of you, is to make more time to learn about yourself. We know what's important to us. We know what work we need to do. We know who we need to love, who we need to help, because we know what's important to us. Now, if we don't have much downtime in our lives nowadays, especially with phones and stuff. You come back from work, let me check my phone really quickly. That stuff. Like we don't really have the time to think and learn about yourself. Do we ever? My first point earlier was to reflect. Do we ever do that? Do we ever go back and think? Can we reflect? And why I say this is because the more you learn about yourself, the more you're actually activating your Atman, which is your inner spirit from God. So the reason behind this is because, like I mentioned before, knowing yourself allows you to grow, and when you grow, you become a better person. And that's why you find that the most elderly so nice and so helpful. Like, oh yeah, here's a chocolate, because they have learned more about themselves, and they're more willing to give. So that's the reason behind this, and your mind grows. That's essentially what it is. We're trying to become more optimistic people. And I think religion shouldn't be this cookie cutter system of where you're this, here are rules, follow this. No, it's to be more optimistic and learn more about yourself, and at the same time also help others. And if we can't help others, then why believe? Because we're all here working together. So Dharma wheel. So another point. So I brought up the topic of the Atman. Should I join us? Okay, I brought up the topic of the Atman before, which is the soul. So another concept here is the idea of the Dharma wheel. And Dharma wheel basically means the wheel to unlock the right path. Dharma means to do righteous work, essentially. And the wheel only moves if you put energy in this wheel. So that means you can't lay on your butt and hang on the couch all day. You're not going to move your Dharma wheel. Wheel doesn't move without energy. Bike, car, no wheels, no energy, no movement, right? So that's the same with you as well. For yourself, you have to put in energy to activate your righteous path, which at the very end will learn more about yourself along that bumpy road, and from that you'll activate your path. That's one thing. And so you want more progress, put energy in. That's essentially my point for that. And I bring this good quote here next. I find this really powerful. I got off the website, but I find this pretty cool. Dharma is the universal and for the whole humanity. And with Dharma, the word means righteous work, right? Unfortunately, not everyone does righteous work. That's why we have wars, all the stuff, fighting, we hate each other, that kind of stuff. But it's for all humanity. All it really means is just righteous work. It's just helping others and learning and growing in the same way. But the contrast between the two, which I find, it may be prerogative, but religion, Hinduism, I feel like we're classifying these things. I feel like we're classifying, you're this, you're from Nepal, you're from Canada, It's just a belief. It's a belief that religion is a belief system for a community, and Dharma is universal. So when we say, I'm Hindu, we say that, it's like, we feel like we belong together, We feel like, we all came here because we're either Hindu or this. We feel like we belong together. But when you mean Dharma, though, it's for everybody. Why can't everybody do good work? So I found that's a big difference. Yeah, so simple gesture, just help each other more. This came with the template, so I just chose this. But help others, love more, and that's what I want to add on to the Dharma point, righteous work. love others a lot more. And I don't have Wi-Fi unfortunately, but in the next email I can send this. So from inside to outside, my perspective is meditation. I know my dad always talks about meditation. So I was like, what is he talking about all the time? But I looked a little bit more into it, and basically when I mentioned, the path of figuring yourself out, the idea of that downtime when, we're coming back from work, busy day, we're all frustrated and agitated and all that stuff. And meditation really helps by, cooling it down. So when your car heats up too much, you can't run your car anymore. You gotta cool it down. Same thing with meditation as well. So inside to outside. So the outside factors are there, definitely. They are gonna, bother you, but you can really relieve that with the energy from inside. When you feel like yourself, you take some time off for yourself. You go swimming or go a walk. You're spending that downtime, and in that downtime, essentially, you're releasing your inner energy, and that's really what meditation is. Nothing, like my mind's gonna come inside of you. All it is you are activating your own energy, which you already have inside of you, to help the outside energy. Everyone believes in, balance. Balloon has to be filled up so the outside doesn't pop it in. And that's exactly it. If the outsides keep pushing in, you gotta activate your inside to match the outside, right? So that's what I believe meditation is. And you can always look up how to meditate, some YouTube videos, 2-3 minutes. Really easy. All, simple meditation even is just sitting down and just thinking 2-3 minutes a day. So, so just, I'm just comparing in this situation is part discovering your evidence, knowing who you are and yourself. I find it's really important to know your identity, who you are, and when often do you most think. That's why they encourage young people to go traveling a lot, go for a road trip, or do all these things, because at those moments is when you really grow, and that is really true because you have time to think. When you feel like you've come change and you go to Nepal for 2 weeks, but it feels like you went up forever, right? Because you had time to think, and you had time to think what's important for you. So that's why I bring up the whole idea of meditation, is because you have time to think, and you have time to realize what's important to you. So how do you compare this to worship and meditation? So I'm suggesting meditation, and many others suggest worship. How are they the same? How are they different? They're essentially the same. They're the same. Meditation, you're discovering what's important to you. When we do puja, you're still praying for what's important to you. At the end of the day, after Om Day Jagati, what do you say? You say, have my good health, good family. You're thinking what's important to you, right? So that's why I bring that up. That's why we do kind of worship. I was thinking, you're really not going to get anything if you throw some flowers at an object. Nothing's going to happen. But what's really important behind that is that you are thinking about good things. You're thinking about the betterment of your family and all that stuff. And I bring up this whole puja stuff because after a temple gathering, let's say I've been going to the Lakshminarayan temple on Surrey as a kid. I remember after we eat, we all go outside and talk for a bit. But what's funny is that compared to let's say the same party, everyone's really happy. Everyone is really happy. It's like, hey, how's it going? How's the kids? Everyone's happy after a temple on a Sunday because you were thinking about good things. You weren't saying, what is she wearing? What's happening? You were thinking good things, and that's really what meditation. You see yogis and gurus; they're always happy because they're thinking about good things all the time. We have so many negative things we think about, and that's really what meditation does. That inner energy is that good energy. You think more about it. Whether you want to do worship, puja, meditation, go for a walk, anything worse. My key one is think of good stuff. Exactly. So basically, when you rule your thoughts, you reach your good mind. It's when you have control of dharma, you can work the righteous wheel. And what I mean by that is, a car has a wheel. You're the driver. Essentially, your mind, you're the driver. You're driving that. And when you rule your thoughts, that's when you reach your higher mind. So what it sort of means is that, if you keep thinking negative thoughts, you're going to go down this downhill path of thinking negative. But why don't you stop after the first negative? I'm not good enough. But why do you think you're not good enough? Take it back. Think positive. Counteract that. And you can hit the positive wheel. So if you can control that and not go down that negative path, you'll reach a higher mind. And that's why you see gurus and yogis is that they're never saying bad things about someone. They're always saying good things. They're sending positive messages. And that's because, they're happy in a higher mind. And they have a higher mind. We say, Guru's, he's enlightened. Well, because, he's able to control his thoughts. Leave out the negative, keep them positive. So, that's another suggestion as well. So, I want to bring this topic of why a temple. Now, to address that, I want to bring up another question. Why do you have friends? Why do you do activities with each other? And hopefully my picture gave a little hint of what I was going to say, but the reason why you have friends and do activities with each other is because, it brings great ideas together. So for example, let's say a sports team, everyone's working together. They're all towards a common goal. They have common values, have common beliefs, and together they're progressively moving forward. Now, I think, this is our make-believe temple here in the Surrey City Library, but if we were to have a temple, I believe that we can all continue the sharing collective good thoughts, making not only yourself better, but everyone together. So one concept I have here is that I present the idea that, it was already there, but the Atman, everyone has an Atman. Now, when you link up, to electricity, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So that's what I mean by energy. You have to put in energy, and energy cannot be created. It's just being passed on and on. So, teamwork. You hear the saying, teamwork makes the dream work. People have working teams move a lot further and further and further. That's what I'm trying to say for us as a whole collective. That if we work together towards a common goal, we can make something more out of ourselves because we're discovering ourselves along the way. We're finding our own Atman essentially, and we're helping each other with that. Because whether you believe in a God or not, God created not just you, but each and every one of us. So you're not the only special one. We all try to help each other, to progress forward. So this some of the goals. Basically, we're here. This is what I kind of want to do. Is promote this stuff because. The reason why I'm even sharing this, I made this and went through the whole process of all the slides because I found a really great value in this. And university is not the easiest, of course. Many of you have already gone through it, but within that process of struggling, I did find something greater for myself, and I started to really believe in all the work that's being done for this. And basically, we're just sharing energy, we're sharing love. There's no politics here, there's nothing. It's just, all it is we just want to help each other. We want our community to grow with this. So summary, in fact, these 3 points here is, I didn't go through whole, I didn't tell you a Ramayana story, Mahabharata story. I just said, take some time to think about yourself. What's important to you, that's believing. If you're activating your Atman, congratulations, you're being a great Hindu or Buddhist. Spend energy, meaning, don't sit around, do stuff. Activate that inner energy. You're full of, great stuff, and always give back. This is what we're doing here. This is what I'm trying to do here. Give back what I learned. And we only grow. We learn from our parents because they're giving back, and we learn from our grandparents. We hear stories and we're giving back. So why do we have to wait till like 40, 50, 70, 80? Why can't we give back 20, 30 to the younger generation? So collectively, because we're a small community here. But I feel like we can make a bigger impact to the greater outside world if we work together. So, a few things, and I give you guys a goal. Action today is how do you plan on spending your energy? A simple thing: give back to those who help you. We've been shaped by this Nepali community. I would say there's a lot of pressure from our parents. Collectively as a community, I'd say even to be successful, but let's keep doing that. Let's keep giving back and giving that advice back, because I know I've learned from a lot of dadas and didis in the community that this is how university goes, all this stuff goes. So we should continue on giving that back, not just for us, but for the parents as well. Learning from us, working together. Also, I talked a little about inspirations. Basically, I want to do what I highlighted to give, and I just want to get back today. Sorry that was a little bit long, but yeah, if you have any questions, please, I'd be more than happy to answer. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, thank you.